Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings and blessings in the name of the one that is, the one that was, and the one which is to come, the Almighty. Who is Jesus Christ? Alright. Today I have some questions to ask to the church people, the church people. Yeah. From I was going to church from a little child growing up, I always hear about tithes. So today I wanna ask, did Jesus teach about tithes? Did the apostles, his apostles, teach about tithes, the paying of tithes? Did they collect tithes? Did Jesus collect tithes? Based on my reading of the Bible, I have never seen where Jesus collect tithes or he pay tithes. I see where Jesus pay taxes. The apostles travel all over, and I've never seen where they teach the payments of tithes. So a lot of pastors, they like to run to the scriptures and say, will a man rob God? But in tithes and offering. But they don't tell the people what tithes is. So I have a few scriptures to share today in regards to tithes. So Deuteronomy 14 verse 22 is going to tell us what tithes is. Deuteronomy 14 verse 22. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed, that the field bringeth forth year by year. It's an annual thing. And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there. The tithe of thy corn, so corn is a tithe, of thy wine, so you get from your grape or your wine where you make, your wine that you made from your grapes, and of thine oil, oil that comes out of the ground, and oil from your olives, and the firstlings of thy herd. Firstling of thy herd means the first calf that your cow have, the first kid that your goat have, the first lamb that the sheep have. The firstlings, right? Firstling of thy herds and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God. So I'm at verse 24 now. Deuteronomy 14 verse 24. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too long far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there, when the Lord thy God shall bless thee, then shalt thou turn it into money. You sell your crops, turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shall go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after. Anything where you want to buy with that money, then buy it for yourself. For oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat there before the Lord thy God, and thou shalt rejoice, thou and thy household. So this type of tithe are for you and your family. For you and your family. This is the part now that you do for the house of God in those days. And the Levite that is within thy gate, thou shalt not forsake him, for he had no part nor inheritance with thee. The Levites did not have any inheritance in Israel. They were the ministers of the temple, that is their inheritance, right? At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithes of the increase. Every 3 years you get the Levites them. Every 3 years. Every 3 years. But in today's world, pastors have been collecting tithes in the form of money. At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year, and shall lay it up within thy gates. You are going to left it at your gate. And the Levite, because he had no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat, and be satisfied, that the Lord thy God may bless thee in all the work of thine hand, which thou doest. So, every 3 years, the Levites used to lay up things for the Levites. Right? This scripture is not read in the churches, because tithes is a mandatory fee that the churches collect from the members. They place a mandatory fee on each member so that they can have millions. So this is a scripture that the pastors preach in order to drive fear in the people. Malachi 3 verse 8. They like to quote this chapter. Will a man rob God? Yet he have robbed me. But he say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. They like to quote this scripture, but they don't tell you that tithes is not money. Do we have Levites today? Are we still under Moses' law? Because under Moses' law, I could not talk to God. Nor most regular people could not talk to God. We would have to go to the Levites, which are the priests. And they talk to God for us. So, under Moses' law, tithes were paid to the Levites. But since the coming of Christ, that law has changed. Why are we paying tithes? The church needs money. But Jesus did not collect tithes, but the church got money. The apostles did not collect tithes, but the church got money. People used to lay up money and they make distribution to each member as the needs arise. So the church needs money, but the apostles did not collect tithes, neither did Jesus teach it, neither did the apostles teach it. So they like to say, will a man rob God? Malachi 3 verse 8. Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, wherein have ye robbed thee? In tithes and offering. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even this whole nation. Verse 10. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in my house. And prove me now, herewith saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not open the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall be no room enough for you. The pastors love to read this scripture. So pastors, why you don't tell the people that tithes is not money? They use this scripture to drive fear, like they would say, example, a lot of you here